Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm continuing the theme of finding out our gifts and our challenges from our nodes, South Node and North Node. This is the third video in the series, so today we will be talking about Gemini Sagittarius axis. If you want to find out more about what the nodes are and how, by just looking at your chart yourselves and looking at your nodes to find out your gifts and your challenges and your life purpose, I would refer you to my video in this channel which called just like that, how to find out your life purpose. So without further ado, jumping into today's subject. Gemini Sagittarius. Okay, North Node, our current life purpose in Gemini. What do we need to develop here? Well, Gemini, air sign, intellectual side, and of course, disseminating of information to others sign. So, what do we need to bring into this lifetime? Curiosity. Now we're talking about like some positive qualities, some helpful qualities of Gemini. Being open, ability to be open to new ideas and experiences. Ability to consider different viewpoints and see different sides of the issue. Something else which is important is logic. Ability to analyze and ability to logically approach different conclusions or arguments or any kind of ideas. And another very important point which some Geminis or lots of people can lack, but Gemini has actually a gift for it. It's being tactful. Being tactful in discussion. And again, tactful is seeing that, hey, here is me, but here is the other. So other has just as much right as me to express their opinions. I don't have to agree with them, but the respectful thing is to at least to give them opportunity to share and for me to listen. So this is some gifts of Gemini. That's something that we need to really develop if we working the North Node energy of Gemini. If we have Gemini as our South Node, I mean something that we already been or worked with in our previous lifetime. And again, like we talked before, South Node can bring some gifts and some challenges. So important to know the challenges. Why? I will repeat again. Why is it important? Because if we know our so-called shadow side, if we know our challenges, then with compassion and care and self-love, we can say, okay, this is something that I know in me. I can change it. This is something I know in me and I cannot, for whatever reason, change it. But I can accept it, love it, and by knowing that it's in me, I can work around it. I can prevent this quality to spontaneously disturb my life because I'm aware, so I can counteract it or work with it or around it. So what can be some issues if we have lots of Gemini energy from previous lifetime? Gemini can be indecisive, or it can be kind of trying to be wishy-washy and not expressing themselves too much. It can be really trying just to appease others and just say what others want. So it just doesn't want to reveal themselves for various reasons. Gemini, very intuitive sign, but one thing which Gemini can be falling into the logic. Again, air sign, and it can say, well, I don't trust intuition, I trust only logic. So falling much into intellect and disregarding all logics. And it's also can be mistrustful of themselves. And again, lots of the shortcomings might come from previous lifetimes. They can come from childhood trauma, from relationship trauma. The real way can be ours, can be our ancestors. The real way, the only way to say, is by really deeply connecting to yourself, or working with a professional who can differentiate what is yours, what is not yours, and then create some strategy for you to work around it, or to maybe even release something that you don't need. So for Gemini, that's might be our fallbacks. And another big one for Gemini is impatience. They really want it now, and if they feel like their project or relationships or anything that they're going for or really want to will need to take some time, or will unfold slowly, or will need some significant effort, they might just withdraw and jump to something else. So being impatient and being kind of a jumpy in a way of not consistent and not following through with their desires or with their wants or with their aspirations. So that's what we might have to be looking for if we're working with Gemini energy. Now we're moving to Sag. So something is sign that is opposite from Gemini is a sign of Sagittarius. So if our North Node, something that we have to work out and develop in this lifetime and bring it into the world, has Sagittarian energy, what we need to really start to developing is a trust, is our own intuition. Sagittarian, fire, every time when we're working with a fire sign, it's our intuitive perception of life. So that's our gift. We need to bring it up. And spontaneity. Sagittarius has to be work on being spontaneous. Self-validation. I know who I am, and I'm putting it out there, and I'm expressing to others who I am in a very self-validating, self-honoring manner. Knowledge. If you're working this lifetime, the sign of North Node of Sagittarius, you got to study something. It does not have to be philosophy, which is usually attributed to Sagittarius. It doesn't have to be anything related to law or to higher learning. It can be gardening. It can be, dance. But it gotta be something that you learn. Learning can happen in intellectual level. Learning can happen on physical level. When we're learning the moves, say for salsa dancing, learning can happen on spiritual level, at emotional level. Or when we're learning how to relate to other people's emotions, well, not necessarily Sagittarian activity, but if we're learning about it experientially, that is learning. Or reading about it, that is learning. Sensing, trying to sense, it is learning. So learning is very much a Sagittarian activity. If we have a Sag, usually in a South Node, it can bring again these gifts, like you can have already be born with love for learning. You can be born as a self-validating person. You can be direct in your communications. But also, what we can be bringing from our previous lifetimes is some challenges that Sagittarius go along with. It's self-righteousness. Sagittarius can be very aloof. It's like the typical, the image of a scientist sitting in a secluded, in a secluded tower and not even just looking down at the common people. Always needing to be right, not considering everybody's opinions, or maybe considering them, but not being open-minded enough to maybe challenge themselves and make an assumption that maybe I'm making a mistake here. So righteousness and this absolutely need to be always right, that can be some problems, can be some downfalls of Sagittarius impulse. And another one, which can be also attributed Gemini, but in Sagittarians it can come even more as impulse. If Gemini can fall into rash decision making because they just don't want to be bothered, Sagittarius just get very excited about something and it can just jump in through, it's like fire, jumps through something to something without thinking it through. It then get burned by it and taking shortcuts. Because again, see how working the duality, Gemini, air sign, it's like light and blowing like air. If I'm taking shortcut, and again, it's just because I don't want anything heavy, I want everything to be light. If Sagittarius can take shortcuts, it can, because it's really impatient to get to the final line, or it's impatient to put what he wants materialize it, and don't put any efforts. So again, knowing some energies, we can work around them, or we can maybe change something, and again, with love, compassion, and gentleness. So here is a take on Gemini Sag working line. And again, look at my other videos. And if you want to go deeper into your life purpose, into your gift and challenges, you can go on my website, Irina Mark. It's in the heading. It's in the heading of my YouTube channel. Schedule a consultation. I offer 20 minutes free discovery call where we can see if you connect to me and if I can see if I'm the right person to help you. In the meantime, with love, light, and lots of blessings, I will see you next time.